Hey guys. Good morning. Speaking of scary faces, it's almost Halloween. I guess I should probably plan something like for Halloween. What's the date today? 29th? Give me some ideas for something fun to do for Halloween, I guess. I haven't really thought too much about that. I did think about it a few days ago and then I just like immediately forgot about it. I don't know. What could I possibly do? Would have been a good opportunity to do like paint the cup noodle kit, the Best Chronicle cup noodle kit. Would have been a good opportunity to paint that up in like a jack-o'-lantern face or something on it, like for Halloween, for like a Halloween video. That would have been a good idea, but a little bit late for that, I guess. It's already painted up in MAC colors. And it looks awesome too, or it's looking awesome. So it's still a work in progress, but yeah, pumpkin carving. Pumpkin carving is difficult here because it's not easy to get like those kind of like big style pumpkins here in Korea. So I like they're around kind of. I don't know if I'd be able to get my hands on one. I'll see. Pumpkin ball. Yeah, I would also have to get a ball. I mean, like, I have this guy. The capsule ball. But don't wanna waste this guy on something like that. I would want to do that with like a high grade or something, I guess, which would also be kind of too small. So, I don't know. Nuva, you got the Baund Doc kit in Korea, you asked? Yeah, the Baund Doc is released in Korea, Japan, everywhere in the world. It's officially released. It's just, you know, depending on how close or far you are from Japan, it might not be where you are yet. So, like, I know it hasn't arrived in America yet. Probably, I would imagine, next week or something, probably. You start to get those in America. Let's start building, shall we? Haro? Yeah, Haro would also be a cool idea. I would have to have a Haro, though. I don't think I have one. I think I have the... Yeah, I only have the Figure Eyes Mechanics one, which again, it's kind of like large. If I had one of the small ones, that'd be something quick and easy to do, but I don't know. Maybe a Zaku head? I do have one of those prepped up as well too. Could do like a skeleton on the head, like a Dokuro Zaku, but I don't have a... Oh, I do have a Zaku one. I can make a Zaku one head out of the Exceed Zaku heads. Still, the Dokuro Zaku head is like an actual skull, but I guess just like painting a skull kind of like on the Exceed Zaku head. I'll think about it. It's such a short amount of time. I mean, to do anything like involving like an actual painting project is kind of very short notice. So I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, good morning, guys. Let me just say some hellos here. I saw Patrick in there. Hey, Patrick. Steven, Jason, Amy, Melon, Cat, JTA, Markham, Cars, Choo Choo Dino, Steven, what's going on, guys? Zonari, hello. Hi, Blaze. And Penguin, Zonari, I gotcha. Melon Otter. Steven, Yellow, Fair, Luis. Hello, guys. And hello to those people on Twitch there. I saw there's some people watching on Twitch as well, too. If I catch your names coming up there in the chat, say hello. Let's get started. Nemo the New said, your videos inspired me to build Gunpla. A year into the hobby and I finally started painting. Well, there you go. A year is not too bad to go from starting to painting. Some people start painting a lot faster, some people take a lot longer to start painting. I feel like a year is not too bad. You know, you just enjoy building for a while and just kind of experimenting with it. It also kind of depends on, you know, where you are in life, how much money you have to burn on the hobby. If you're still, especially if you're still younger, or you don't have a full-time job or still a student or something like that, the more time it takes you to work up to getting into painting, it's kind of more understandable. Gail asked, hey Zach, working on the MGEX while I watched, decided on painting the cycle frame clear green. There you go. I'm wondering if I should have painted some clear red on the cycle frame, because I've seen Yupas on Twitter. If you guys don't know, Yupa's one of my favorite Twitter people. One of my favorite Japanese modelers to follow. I've seen he painted the cycle frame in like a clear red on it, and it does look pretty good. So I don't know, maybe regarding that, but I don't know. I'm happy with how mine came out too as well. So I'm glad that it still has the option to go green, because if I had painted the cycle frame in clear red, then it would look, when you switch on the green light, I think it's gonna look probably pretty gross. So I'm glad I still have that option at least. Trying to make a ghost crossbone Gundam with the cloak. That is gonna be a bit of a challenge, I guess. A lot of scratch building and everything. Because the ghost is the, wait, let's see. It's the silver and purple one, right? How big is this kit's box? Q11. The kit's box is it's the bigger size box. Oh, here we go. I have it right here. This one. This one. Still have the base in here. I'm not building it comes with an action base. I'm not gonna bother building that. I don't need it. I have like a collection of action bases that I think I'm gonna have to do like an action base giveaway, because I've got quite a few and I don't really use them, so. Alright. Well, and one other thing too, I'll tell you guys, and I'll have to make sure to try to remember to mention this in the review as well too. Just doing like the preparation for building this kit, like removing all the nub marks and everything, it went really fast. So I mean, it is an HG, so I mean it doesn't have a ton of parts, of course, but I mean just like going through the parts, I was just like zooming through the process. It really seemed like Bandai, I don't know what they did necessarily, but like the nubs on this kit were, I mean, like the gates and everything, like just the placement of them and like the size of them was so easy to work on. Like you'd think like for like a big kit, sometimes you have like some pretty sizable parts. Hang on, just trying to see how these parts are meant to fit into here. For like a bigger kit and like big size parts, you think like, oh, it's gonna have some giant nasty gates on it, but not really, actually. I mean, like all the cleanup work for this kit went real fast. But what's this? What am I doing wrong here with this? That's supposed to Oh, there you go. Okay. And again, guys, if you have questions or something for me along the way, if you have questions you're just asking to the stream, whatever, that's fine. But if you're asking questions that are directed directly at me, just be sure to tag me in your comment there or something so that I can pick it out of the chat easier. If you do, please. And thank you. Also, very few stickers. There's a sticker sheet with this, and only a couple polycaps. Only a couple of these ball joint polycaps, and that's it. Also, if you guys remember how I was going to just to further demonstrate the point of how fast this kit went together, if you guys remember, I was planning to paint the Beyond Global Gundam in Char's colors, and last night, after doing all the prep work for this, I then still had enough time to go ahead and do all the sanding I needed to do on the Beyond Global Gundam to get that prepared for painting as well too. So I had a very productive night last night getting this kit ready and the Beyond Global kit ready for painting. So hopefully I'll maybe, I don't think I'll have time, and plus it's still drying. I washed all the parts this morning, so that's still drying, but I think probably I'll prime that tomorrow and then work on the painting over the weekend. That'll be done next week, I imagine. Dylan asks, what do you think of an MG Alex 2 painted in the G3 colors? I said go for it. G3 colors always look good. Kraknur said, how is the dark blue on this kit? Is it like what is always used? I'm guessing you're wanting to know about like nub marks on the dark blue section. That's probably why you're asking, I would imagine. And I think it's fine. Like I said, the nub placement is very good as well too. And the only place where I really noticed the nub marks might be a problem is like around the top of the torso, maybe on those parts. Otherwise, like especially on these big massive parts for the skirts, they really only have a couple of gates, and they're really nicely placed. I don't think they're going to be much of an issue, so it's quite good. I'm fairly new to Gunpla. Is there a way to see when restocks are scheduled, Steven? As in, like, to see when Bandai's reprinting, like, older kits. There is a way. I think you can basically see only on a monthly basis, so you can only know, like, what's coming, like, that month, what's in production. Like, on the Bandai website, I think they publish that. How many runners? Cody, how many runners? Not that many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? 10. Let's see. Patrick, thank you for the super chat. Hopefully we get the Methus in MG form. That'd be an interesting MG, yeah. Let's see. The hands of the Baund Doc on the kit is like master finger style hands. I guess you mean like master grade size? Yes, the one hand, the left hand, where it does have an actual hand, it's like a master grade hand. Yes, it's in size anyway. What's been your favorite build to date? Oh, I don't know, James. I couldn't answer that. Too many good ones. Rafe asks, what do you think about those green rubbery parts? Are they good quality? I mean, the quality looks good, yeah, and the nice thing about them is that they don't really have very visible mold lines on them. That's aside from just the fact that they're rubber, which is can be more difficult to paint. The other problem with rubber parts is that a lot of kits have had really bad mold lines on the rubber parts, which are very hard to clean up. But with this one, it doesn't really seem to be the case. The mold lines are pretty minimal, so that's good. But I'm thinking I'm probably going to replace mine, replace those rubber parts with what do I want to say? With some spring. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. And that is pretty much it, if this will go together. I've got an interesting idea for my Baund Doc here. So I think it'll be a fun little project. As far as painting the little guy, well, big guy, I guess I should say. So, won't spoil the surprise, because, whoops, oh no, it's gonna have one of those torsos that just pops out all the time. But I think it'll be alright. It's kind of interesting how, like, the torso itself is pretty small. It seems like kind of like a typical HG size. I'm sure it's probably a little bit larger. But the torso is not that big. It's only when you get to like the rest of the parts where it starts getting much larger. There's been a rise in art toy designers like Cool Rain in Korea lately. Any idea if there's artists doing unique Gundam pieces in vinyl? Chun, I don't know about that. No, I don't know. I couldn't say. Sorry. Let's see. Also, Brian, I didn't say hello to you, Brian. I saw you there. Brian and Travis, hello. Let's see. Midland Zeta. I'm gonna make Alex Mark. I'm gonna make an Alex Mark II using Alex 2.0 and an MG Jesta. Well, there you go. This should be an interesting kit bash. Yellow asked opinions on the Double Zeta Gundam. I love Zeta Gundam, but really don't like Double Zeta so far. I hope it gets to a similar tone as Zeta. I didn't finish watching Double Zeta either, so I understand your pain. I got, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 episodes in or something like that, and didn't like stop watching because I wasn't enjoying it. I just kind of, I don't know, was busy and I didn't watch it for a while and just never got back to wanting to get back to watching it, I guess. So. All right. Now, unfortunately, despite my other praise for this kit, it is kind of disappointing that they don't have an actual color separated piece for the mono eye after just building the O. If you guys missed my review posted just a few hours ago of HG the O, that has an actual color separated piece for the mono eye. This one is just a gray piece and you have to put this sticker over the top of it. What a shame. But it can turn, so that's good, I guess. What the hell? There we go. Then this face part on here, and this part over the top of that. And a couple of stickers here on the head. Let's see, just... Xenon said, is it better to buy kits in bulk instead of singular? I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on what exactly you're talking about, but I guess like if you're buying kits from overseas where the shipping is pretty expensive, then it's probably better to buy a couple of kits at once rather than like buying one kit and then paying basically like the same price as the kit on shipping, if that makes sense. So yeah, I guess I wouldn't necessarily call that in bulk. Bulk just makes me think that you're like buying like as a shop like hundreds of kits at once, which I don't think that's what you're talking about, I would imagine. Very cool how the neck is very like spine-like, except that I can't tell which part's up and which part's down, but I guess maybe it doesn't matter so much. Just so that this part fits onto there like so. There we are. There you go, little rabbit boy, and the little antenna feelers are on little ball joints there, so you can move those around. Oops, and apparently they fall out too, if you're not careful. Alright. Next. Zonari. This is, consider this your warning on spamming the chat there. Please don't. Now to build the first arm. It's also going to be fun to build two different arms rather than just building the same arm twice like we usually do. And I was thinking about changing out the hand as well too, because we're changing out the massive claw. I know it's very like iconic, but Miguel, will you paint this kit? Yes, I am planning on painting this kit. I know the claw is like iconic, right? But I noticed in the manual, and I think, as far as I can tell, it's just like a kind of big ball joint for the hand. So switching it out to something else should be pretty easy. Let me know if you need a temp mod to help. Thanks, Brian. I think it'll be okay. We'll see. If I need, I'll let you know. Appreciate that. What is your favorite transforming mobile suit, mobile armor? Azzy. The Delta Plus is pretty cool because it just looks like a full-on like jet when it's transformed. So it looks pretty cool. Hero asked, "Do you like the color of this kit?" I mean, not really. I'm planning on painting it in different colors. It's very unique. The pink is it's such a bright magenta pink color. You know, I just wasn't expecting it. I mean, like, looking at like the official colors of the kit, right? Like, where are we? You just look at pictures of the kit. Like, alright, yeah, obviously it's pink, but I wasn't expecting it to be quite so pink. I don't know. But it's fine. But I'll definitely be painting it in different colors, yes. So we got that, then that, then another rubber piece over here. For an otherwise really cool kit, I think like the rubber cables are really going to be my only major complaint about it seems like so far. A little bit of seam line there on that part, it looks like. Let's see. Seam line on this part as well too. I was expecting, just looking at the kit ahead of time, I was thinking about like where am I expecting the seam lines to be, and I was expecting there to be some on this arm, so unfortunate, but not too surprising, I guess. cool how you have these like yellow inserts here for the claw parts, so that's color separated. So, you know, color separation does seem pretty dang good for this, I will say. One time I wanted to paint an RG or an RX-782 in Ava 01 colors with customized Ava plus RG or RX-782 head, but decided to give up on it. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've seen it done before, probably, but it could be cool. Interesting. Patrick, thank you for using the super chat there. What do you say? Do you still want a copy of the Mercurius and Vea? I'm gonna snag some P Bandai stuff on Friday through the US store, so I can snag them for you. Yes, Patrick, that would be awesome. Actually, yeah. If you would, that'd be very cool. So I appreciate you using the super chat there, and thank you for the offer as well too. I will take you up on that because yes. I was hoping that I missed the pre-order for that here in Korea, and then I was hoping it would come up for like a second round pre-order, and it did pop up last week, but I think it was like an error or something like that because the page for that didn't actually work once I clicked on the link to order. So I was very big sad on that because I saw it. It's like, ah, yes, but then no. So bummer. But claw is pretty cool. You have like the main claw and then a couple points of articulation. The main, like the big part moves, and then this thumb part moves on its own, and then it also has another joint in there as well too. So pretty nice articulation for that actually. And then these side parts are actually on a ball joint, so you can actually kind of change the angle of them a little bit. But I feel like they're kind of meant to just be kind of straight on there, but still pretty cool arm there. So there we go. I'm not going to put that on quite yet. We need to put together the shoulder first. And it's kind of weird. In the manual, it has you build both the arms first, separately, and then build the shoulder parts. And it's like, why wouldn't I build this shoulder at the same time as this part here? What do you think of the Space Kangaroo? Yes, this Space Kangaroo. Not a design that I have ever really loved, but I'm really glad that they finally made a kit of it. Those are foot parts. What are they doing here? Alright, so there's a shoulder armor, and kind of a little tiny bit of a seam line there on the edge of the shoulder as well too. But that's okay. Does that have a ratchet in there? Or am I just imagining that? I don't see anything that would... hang on. No, I don't... Yeah, it doesn't actually have a ratchet system there, but it feels like it does because the arm, this part of the arm is like crashing up against this part on the inside of there, so that's gonna definitely like damage that part in there. That's kind of strange. It's scratching that part of the kind of shoulder joint frame kind of thing. That's weird. Do you sell every kit you build, or do you keep any Casval? I usually sell any of my painted builds. So like the unicorn I just finished, for example, is still for sale. Most of my painted builds I sell, yeah, or give away. I only have, I think the only one that I still have at the moment, as far as I can remember, I think is just the narrative Gundam, which is also still for sale. I only still have it because I haven't sold it yet. So my gold narrative Gundam that I built, also still for sale, and the unicorn Gundam. Brian, have you reviewed the Delta Plus? I'm rewatching Unicorn and it caught my eye. No, I think very, very, very early on in my channel I reviewed the clear color version of the HD Delta Plus. Kind of, it was, you know, a very simple kind of review of that. And I've built the Master Grade. but it was a long time before I was on YouTube, so I have not ever done like an actual review of that. And I have the kit here, the one that I built a long time ago, so I can make a review of that using my old kit, and I've kind of meant to do that, but I've never gotten around to it. So I'll have to do that. Are you going to get Glute Gaz 1 and Gaz R? Oh, are you going to get the Gaz L and Gaz R? Talking about the yes, I know what you mean. The Garibaldi variants, right? No, I'm not. What I wish I could get is all these damn parts out of this box. Shoot, come on now. All right. Now, as for the kind of regular arm, as it were, here we go. I can find the pieces I'm looking for. This one here and this one here. What do you think of the Mark IV and Mark V? The Mark IV is the one that has the really weird shaped head, right? The Mark V is cool. Yeah, I like the Mark V. I'm really surprised we haven't got a kit of the Mark V at this point, but who knows, you know. Next year could be the year we finally get a Mark V. But the Mark IV, yeah, is the one that has like the big weird like alien kind of head. I mean, like even more alien than usual other stuff. Right? It's white, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like that. It's a little bit too out there for me. That's that piece here. That little piston dealy on top like that. Alright, I guess that's... Looks like that's probably going to be our shield connector there. BAM Corp. Wasn't the original Baund Doc a lot bigger? Thought it was considered a mobile armor. Is it not to scale? Oh, it's big, trust me. What you'll see once we get the kit all finished building up. I'll show you a little quick size comparison here before we wrap up the stream. The kit is big, so I'm pretty sure it's to scale. Just doesn't seem that big quite yet, because like the body, the main body is like kind of the most normal sized part of it, but the rest of it is where it starts to grow. So you'll see here momentarily once we get a little bit further on. And let's see. Shoulder. Frame. With this arm being pretty much all frame, there's much less to worry about with seam lines. Fortunately, there's kind of nothing really. So a bit of a trade-off, I guess. A little bit more seam line than I would like on the one arm, and then no seam lines at all on the other arm. So I guess it's not too bad. And for the hand, yeah, it's basically you have the hand here, which is very master grade size, and you have just the swappable fingers, again like your kind of typical master grade kit. So I'm gonna go for open hand for the time being, but we also have one for hand for the beam saber handle and a hand for the beam rifle. So that's kind of like our arm there. Then as for the shield, going to be tricky to get this clear part into there. I have to use my tweezers. Come on. There we go. Definitely going to be useful to put a little bit of silver paint up inside that clear part or something to help make it glow. Got the yellow piece there, and got the pink piece to go on the top. Some very nice color separation there. And that goes on the arm here, okay. Interesting. And then our big main piece here, let's see. This must be this one. Like this. I'd never really noticed before how this part is asymmetrical. I wouldn't have thought that. Basically just because these are the two little yellow notches on there. Oof. And I also don't really like how kind of weak that feels. This part just being plugged onto there seems like it's like meant to move or open or something when it's not really. I don't know, is it? Does it open like, maybe for the transformation it does kind of like slightly open or something. We'll have to see. Maybe you have to open that up in order to do the transformation, I guess. I don't know. That plugs into there. But yeah, that panel on the shield feels very weak, the connection. So I'm guessing that's probably for the transformation. Alright, so there's the arm. Let's build this shoulder, which is just like this. This one. Here, and the vent in the front, or actually the vent is on the back side, isn't it? But I think I don't know how easy that'll be to switch around. I was thinking about seeing how easy it would be to modify that. Seeing how easy. Is that right? No, it's not. Seeing how easy it would be to modify the shoulder so that the vent is on the front. You know what I mean? Rather than this piece. But I don't know. This piece on the front is kind of cool as well too, I guess. So they're just kind of weird bug eye looking things. Looks like it's like a caterpie head or something he's got for a shoulder. Doesn't it? Very bug-like. I guess the whole thing's gonna be kind of very bug-like like that, but there you go. Zach had an awesome inner frame color mix for MGX Unicorn. I'm going to replicate it. I had to go get some paints. I didn't, Brendan, I didn't let you guys know what color I used for the inner frame of the unicorn, did I? I'm pretty sure I made a note of it. Hang on, let me see. I think I wrote that down here. Oh yes, did I tell you the color that I used for the frame of the unicorn, Brendan? If not, oh yeah, I think I did in like the comments or something, didn't I, on Instagram? Yeah, okay, alright, sorry. Okay, yeah, 336 plus a little bit of 25. Yes. Alright, so the legs are next, but as you guys know, we can't build the legs until we have something to plug the legs onto, so we're gonna build the skirt first. We got like 3 big massive pieces here. And then everything else. Hey Deanjo, appreciate your super chat there as always. I've been starved of building new kits for weeks, but I only need to order 2 more parts for my PC. I'm really tempted to order HG in the meantime. Yeah, and that's a struggle, I guess. Ordering parts for your PC. I'm guessing you also maybe must do PC gaming, I'd imagine. So spending that money for new parts for your PC means that your PC is going to be, I guess, upgraded for your PC gaming. And then you're going to want to spend time using your PC for gaming, and then you're not going to want to spend time, or you're not going to have this time to do both, so you can't, you know, work on Gunpla and games at the same time. You just spent that money on upgrading your gaming PC, then maybe you're not going to feel too bad about not buying Gunpla because you'll be busy playing games, right? Never starves of building kits. Yes, I'm blessed with, I guess, more kits than I will probably ever build in my life, I imagine. But I was thinking about this the other day, and I think, like, no matter what the circumstances, I think just out of sheer guilt, I think I have to start a Mechanicore kit this year. I talked about that earlier this year. I'm sure I mentioned it a couple times that that I was thinking about starting working on a Mechanicore kit towards the end of the year. And I think I just kind of have to. It's just, if I don't just start working on one, it's just never going to happen. So I think once the next month the Wing Zero is coming out, well, fuck, then the PG is coming out right after that. Well, I don't know if I'll have time actually, because I was planning on painting the Wing Zero kit, the Master Grade Verka Wing kit, when that comes out. But I was thinking paint that kit like the end of November, and then start on a Mechanicore kit like at the start of, like, hopefully by at least the middle of December to be started on that. But the Perfect Grade is also coming out, isn't it? Which I'm gonna want to work on. So, damn, I don't know. Okay, well, I have to think about that. Ian Henry said, I think modifying the HG to look more like the Kondo version would be a great project. Yeah, that would be cool. To look like the GAMP, it's called, right? The Kondo version. Yes. That is something that I'm considering for mine. Not like a full-scale like modification to look like that, but I'm thinking about at least maybe adding some fuel tanks up underneath the skirt section to give it that sort of kind of similar look like that. I think that'd be cool. The new PG isn't coming till April. The PG was delayed till April? Is that true? Really? I hadn't heard that. Was that news announced recently? Was it delayed? That is, I think, equal parts bad news and good news for me, because if that's true, then my plan for working on Mechanicore kit would actually fit quite nicely, giving me a couple months to work on that before the PGRX comes out. That actually would be just right, but that's according to the USA Gundam Store page. That might be, Brian, then that might be for the second round then. That might be why it's saying, yeah, that's in the second batch. Yeah, Brian, that's when the second batch is coming out. Dang, you really had me kind of equal parts disappointed and excited at the same time there. Yes. No, as far as I know, yes, the PG is still set to be coming out in December. It's just that the second batch won't come out until April. So kind of interesting, like here's the whole skirt part, but it's kind of done, and at this point there's no way to actually attach this onto the kit. That's when you build this section here. This will actually allow you to put this on here. So that should be clicked into place there. Oh, and we're supposed to put the legs on this section at this point, but we can't do that. So that actually plugs into the front of there. And then, okay, so we'll wait. I'm thinking it might be hard to put the legs on that. So let's build one of the legs here first and find out. Yes, the Baund Doc got one of the biggest of booties, indeed. Alright. Then back to the legs then. These larger parts out of the way for us for now. And 5 pieces. That goes there. That one there. And knee joint would be like this. And this one like that. Close that up. And our rubber parts here go. Uh-oh, no, that's not right. Like that. And then fold it around to here. That's kind of weird. Now let's see. Shoot, damn. You got these pieces that like cap over the sides of there. And they're different, the ones for the top and the bottom, but it's kind of hard to tell which ones are different. I think these larger ones go on the top here. Looks right. Yeah, I think I'll definitely be replacing these with just some spring instead. There you go. That wasn't so bad. Then this guy here. This one inside there. This tiny little yellow piece. I think I'm gonna need to use my tweezers again. Tiny little yellow piece up in there. And then we can put this together, right? Yes. And this is where our other stickers are gonna go, here on the pink parts. So we wrap these around here. Oh no! We're gonna have another seam line here on the front of the legs, looks like. Indeed. Alright. Is that a panel line? Oh no, it is a panel line, isn't there? Okay. Alright then. So these go on here, 4 and 5. This little yellow triangles on there. Come on. Come on. Well, not really a great fit on that, but alright. Other way. That's like that. Then see. Every seam is a panel line if you don't care about something looking good. Well, yeah. It's a fair point, Brendan. And, you know, Josh and I always have a laugh when we're going through looking at stuff. Not necessarily, this doesn't happen too often during the live streams when we're doing the Plamo no Trend episodes. But just like when we're just chatting in our just Facebook messages or whatever, Josh and I will often come across some builds on Facebook, or like I'll come across one and send it to him. Usually is more often the case, but where it's like a really awesome build, and then it's just with like nothing done on the seam lines at all, and it's just always a collective, like Anakin Skywalker becoming Darth Vader. No, it's like, why would you spend all that time and effort on this beautiful build? Oh shit. And then just leave a big old seam line on it. I don't get it. That's not correct. Damn. Hang on. I think I had these backwards, or are these in the wrong place, or what? Backwards, I think. Yeah. Shoot. That's like that. That's right. Right? And that one's backwards. Okay. Well, fortunately that came out of there pretty easily, and that one is right. Swapped those thinking it was wrong, but that little guy goes on there, and this one goes on there like that. There we go. But yeah, anyway, my point on that is just that it's interesting to see how these modelers who, like, I really admire their work, and like I think that their modeling is like really top notch, and they've got some really beautiful looking builds, but then they just leave the seam line on there because they just don't care. And like, you just have to think like, huh, alright, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if it doesn't bother you, then, you know, whatever, right? There is no rule that says you have to remove seam lines on something, because I mean, at the end of the day, I think what it comes down to is just that I think for a lot of modelers like that is that they just see it as just a part of the model. Like, they don't see it as like necessarily something that is like needs to be removed or whatever. If that makes sense. They just see that as, you know, this is the model I'm building, and this model happens to have this line separation between these parts of its armor or whatever, and so that's how I'm gonna build it. So I think, no doubt, I'm sure those modelers are like aware. Yeah, should have followed the instructions and put the legs on first. Those modelers are like aware of like seam line removal as a thing that, you know, like is typically done, and they're just making the conscious choice to not worry about it. And I think in a way I'm kind of like jealous. It must be like, this is not meant to, the way to say this sounds sarcastic, but it's not meant to be sarcastic, but it must be nice to not worry about seam lines like that when it gets like, it would bother me too much. But, you know, that'd be cool if it didn't. And even if I did, you know, do a kit here or there or something like that where I didn't bother with all of the seam lines on it or something, I don't think it would be something that I would do every time. Just every now and then, it'd be nice to just not really worry about that. That's my entire hobby motto. Must be nice to not care. Yeah, right? Sanding is another one too. Just like sanding in general, like sanding everything. Like, I know probably I don't need to sand as much as I typically do, but it's so hard not to. Like, it must be nice to just like I often talk with Lincoln about different stuff like this, and I'll ask him about like what was it? I was talking to Lincoln about something recently where I had this exact thought. Oh, I think about like washing parts before painting, because I usually always do that because you know, it's just what I've learned and just based on my experience is what's like the proper thing to do, and it totally makes sense to me in my mind too as to why to do it. So I always just thought that like, yeah, you need to clean parts before painting because you got, you know, dust, oil, whatever on them and all that. But like for machine and Krieger kits, especially like on the Cooster, there's a lot of like little fragile parts and stuff, so I was a little bit worried about it. So I was asking Lincoln, I was like, so how do you go about washing your kits before you paint? Because you have all these like little fragile parts. I mean, like, do you just kind of just run some water over it or something? And he just said like he just never does it, doesn't do that. So I was like, wow, that must be nice to just not even worry about that. So I was thinking like, okay. And I guess it's understandable. It makes sense. I'm sure you could get away with painting kits and just not worrying about the washing them and all that, but I would still feel like worried, I think. I don't know. As soon as I got Scriber's Chisels 9 months out of 10, what's that? 9 times out of 10, I just turned every seam line into a panel line. Yeah, well, there you go. Here you go. Yeah, exactly, Brendan. That's exactly seems to be the case. Every time I have any question like that, like kind of along those lines for Link, it seems like that's usually kind of the general sentiment of his answer is like, you just paint it. That's it. Because, and it's very interesting. I think it's also fueled, of course, from his experience and like his climate of like learning and being in that environment of modeling for publication, like professional modeling, where you don't always have a lot of time to go through all these steps that really aren't going to make that much of a difference. That like, yeah, if you were wanting to do like, you know, your proper modeling procedures and stuff, you would do more sanding and washing the parts and stuff like that. But I mean, if you're working for publications and you've got deadlines, you don't always have time for that. So the most important thing is that you're just getting a good paint job done on it. And so if that's all you've got time for, that's what you're going to focus on. So it totally makes sense. Best airbrush compressor under $300? Well, you can get a lot of perfectly capable airbrush compressors for under $300, no doubt about that. The Sparmax one that I'm using I like quite a bit, so I would check that out. I don't know offhand how much it costs, but I imagine it's probably less than $300. I think it's under $200, I believe. Oh shoot, I forgot the tragedy. Forgot the stickers on the leg, which don't really fit into this space very well anyway. There we go. So yeah, just a couple of stickers on there, not too bad at all. So now we can put the body together, top and bottom half, and there's the O. I mean, it's big, not as big as I was like picturing in my mind, but it's definitely big. I'll give you guys a little look at that here. We need to put together the accessories real quick here first. Let me just do that. The beam rifle and the beam cannon. So we got 2 beam sabers, but only 1 beam saber handle, so you'll have that. Beam rifle. Got a clear piece for that. Very cool. If that would fit into there. I'm guessing that Bandai put an LED strip in the MGEX Unicorn as a test bed for a larger kit in the future. Reiji, I don't know. I don't know what larger kit it would be in the future. And like, yeah, maybe, but it wasn't their first time using the LED strip, because I think as far as I've heard, the RG light up unicorn kit, oh, that barrel piece seems very loose on there. The RG kit also uses the same type of LED strip. I've heard, I've not built the kit or seen it in person, but I think as far as I know. There we go. There's the cannon. There's the beam rifle. Looks very large. And this adapter piece for the action base. And beam sabers. Alright. Let's get the O back out here for comparison. Move my camera, bear with me. O and Doc. Much taller. And RX-78 too. As you can see, a little bit taller than these other guys. Very big indeed. So I won't bother with the transformation now at the moment. I'll do that in the review. Of course, I'll show you guys the transformation and all that. But for now, there he is. And it took us, I mean, like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, that just preparing the kit, just doing like all the number removal and everything was a very fast experience. But I mean, just building the kit was very fast as well too. It took us an hour. That's very fast. I mean, other HGs, it's taken me longer than that, right? So it does feel a lot like building an RE100, actually, to be honest. Just because of the size and the simplicity, because it's an HG. But it really, and the lack of polycaps as well too, it really feels like an RE100 kit, to be honest. It's just in 1/44 scale. So, pretty interesting, indeed. And very cool design, and I'm looking forward to working on this some more. It's got a few seam lines on there. It's an HG, but you know, obviously seam lines on an HG are not surprising. It's just that it's a brand new HG, And a lot of the newer HGs, Bandai has been really good about less and less seam lines on them. So this one does, you know, it shouldn't come as a surprise that there's seam lines there, but it does feel like there's a little bit more than I would have expected for a brand new HG in 2020. But that said, still a very cool design. So, alright guys, that's it for the stream today. I'm going to go ahead and work on the review. And again, if you missed the review of the O, that was just posted just a few hours ago, a little while back, so check that review out in the meantime. And then I'll have the Baund Doc review out coming pretty soon. Yeah, that's it for today, and I'm just trying to think of what else is coming. For those of you guys waiting on the results of the Mechatro contest, we're still working, me and the judges, I'm still getting the judges' picks from them, so we can decide who the winners are for the Mechatro contest. So ultimately we had 44 entries, and they're very cool. So if you guys haven't checked out the album on my Facebook page, check that out. You guys can see all the entries and vote by liking your favorites for the People's Choice winner. So check that out. In the meantime, we'll try to have the winners for you guys as soon as I can. So, alright, I think that's it for now. Just working on a whole bunch of stuff. So, till next time, guys. See y'all later. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.